course, political parliamentarianism. That, in other words, might even end up as an MP, as I remember where you first saw him. And his topic is Brexit was a victory for the older generation. Ladies and gentlemen, Dominic Jones.
The word democracy is based on the principles, power to the people, by the people. And the people were certainly given the power when they went to the polls for a referendum on Britain's position within the European Union. The turnout was the highest since 1992, with over 72% of the electorate turning out to cast their vote. When the result came in the next morning, many felt frustrated and a feeling of betrayal, especially amongst the student population, of which 62% voted Remain. However, putting things into perspective about this referendum, Brexit was not a victory for the older generation. This is backed up by the fact that all sections of society aged 34 plus voted Leave with a majority. With a turnout of 72%, this could possibly not have just been the older generation. Essentially, there were 4 reasons why it was not just a victory for the older generation. Firstly, the use of the media was very influential in this campaign. Many of us view social media in different forms. Young people, typically on social media, and older people, not meaning to offend anybody, typically through television and newspapers. The media was skillfully used by representatives from the Leave side that made the arguments presented a better, more convincing case. The case was presented that change would be better and was a better vote than staying with the status quo. Another reason was the growing feeling of frustration and need for change in society. The UK had been part of the European Union since it joined in 1973, and it had experienced some difficult times, which many thought, rightly or wrongly, were due to being part of the European Union. Whilst it is fair to say that the old generation would have drawn upon this when casting their vote, it was all sections of society that collectively contributed to the Leave vote and therefore benefited from Brexit. Thirdly, many were and continue to be hit hard by the results of austerity since its introduction in 2010 by the coalition government. Many were suffering from poverty, unemployment and feeling the burdens of ever-increasing inequality. With the economic and social conditions not working for everyone, it was a chance to vote against the mainstream political parties, 4 of which, the Green Party, the UK Labour Party, the SNP and the Liberal Democrats, had a party policy to remain. By ignoring these arguments, many thought that Brexit would pave the way for real change that would not only benefit them, but would benefit their families, their communities, their line of work. Finally, in the build-up of the referendum, many had the chance and were able to voice their concerns about issues relating to the European Union. One of the biggest disagreements was against the policy that the European Union had of freedom of movement. This is backed up by the fact that in a YouGov survey performed in June 2016, 57% of people asked found that leaving the European Union would reduce immigration. This proves that it wasn't just the older generation that thought leaving the European Union would help reduce immigration. Another example is that many working class voters felt that immigration caused unemployment in their areas and extreme pressure on the public services. In addition, many well-off Conservative voters in the south wanted control not over only their borders of the UK, but lawmaking and enforcement. Therefore, many feel that the EU didn't benefit them. In conclusion, Brexit was not a victory for the older generation. It was a victory for democracy, those who voted for real change, those who were influenced by the media, and those who had major concerns about immigration. Thank you for listening.